everybody, how are we all? Hello Louise, you said it's cold outside. Yes, it is here as well. Probably not as cold as where you are, but it is cold here as well. Hi Anne, hi everybody else who haven't said hello to. How are we all? Right, so apologies for last week's little rant, but obviously since last week, I've had a couple more messages of other designs that apparently Coca Rosa have stolen. Before we start, actually, let me quickly do my usual thing. So this is a live stream. It will be chatty, particularly today. You can flick through the bits you don't want. You can, if you're watching the replay, you'll flick through the bits you don't want to see, or you can hold on and wait for the edited version, or you can come join us because it's way more fun if you come and join in. A big thank you to all of my members. So I've got Crafty Sprinkles, which are only like 99 pence a month, not very much. And then you've got bronze, whatever they're called. And you've got silver. My brain's not working today, as you can tell. So thank you to everybody. That really, really helps me out. So thank you very much. Minus 16 centigrade. Oh my goodness gracious me. That's ridiculously cold, Louise. My goodness. I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm cold right now and it's not even that cold here. My goodness. Yeah, if you'd like to become a member, please do. All you've got to do is click the little join button that's below the screen. And then you can join, and there's different options, but it also helps out the channel, keeps me going. Yeah, big massive help. Don't forget to hit the like button because that also helps me. Subscribe, and obviously if you're watching this back, leave a little comment down below. Hit the turn notifications on, then you won't miss a video and you'll get notified of live streams, etc, etc. And also I'd like to see your versions of the card. So I have got a Pinterest board, but that is just for your versions of the cards that we've made, not for suggestions or things you've seen that look great. I will take them off if they're not versions of what we've made, okay? So just so you know. And I've also got Reddit as well. And on Reddit, we've got a little community over there. It can get bigger. People can write, and then that's where you can suggest stuff. So you can post on there suggestions, things you've seen, you know, ask me questions, whatever. We can have a bit of a chat. It's great. So yeah, right. So let's have a look what we got. Good morning from a wicked cold 5+ Fahrenheit. Oh goodness me, that sounds cold as well. 5 in, oh gosh, yeah, that's in the minus numbers in centigrade. That sounds very cold. Cold, not cold outside at all here. Cyclone up north is creating a heat wave in the southwest of the state. A week of minimum temperatures above 25 degrees. Wow. Well, that sounds good. I think, maybe. Hi Jeanette, good to see you. I'm okay, I'm just, yeah, life is lifing, let's put it that way. Hi Cindy, 20 Fahrenheit in Lauenburg. Wow, again, that's minus numbers for us. Wow, possible snow, yes. I'm not surprised. Right, I'm going to quickly take you through a few things. I just need your opinion on a few things as well. So obviously the whole fiasco about stolen designs within Love Arts and Coca Rosa is continuing to wage. I've had another 3 messages about 3 more different dyes that Coca Rosa or In Love Arts have had that have been stolen from other people. Again, I must specify that both Coca Rosa and In Love Arts use a team of designers. So it is the designers that are doing the stealing. Coca Rosa and In Love just aren't checking it. And so they are now trying to check stuff, but obviously they have a lot of stuff to check, but they've taken off, as far as I'm aware, the ones that I've flagged to them. So the moral dilemma is, do I continue to work with them or do I not? Okay. Now, in amongst that moral dilemma of do I continue to work with them or do I not, I actually had a bit of a thought the other day when I was shopping in Aldi. I don't know how many of you, obviously in America it might be different because you probably don't have an Aldi, but I'm sure you have something similar to this. So in the UK we have obviously Tesco's, Asda, there are like main supermarkets, and then you've got like Aldi, Lidl, which are kind of classed as like the discount supermarkets. However, if you agree that, you know, stealing designs is wrong, which I do, then I would pose a question for you. Should you then buy from the supermarket stolen designs that are in the supermarket? I present to you one example of such. Okay, this is the original. Tunnock's Caramel Wafer Biscuits. It is not craft related, but I just wanted to throw this out here. Okay, so this is the original. Tunnock's, these have been around for many years. Okay, I present to you Aldi's. Now, can you please tell me, do they not look very similar? So if I don't agree with stealing someone's designs, which I don't, I shouldn't be buying these then. Because if I'm buying these, I'm supporting Aldi nicking Tunnex's design. The bars themselves are exactly the same. The packaging is pretty much exactly the same. The actual content of what they are, caramel wafer biscuits, is exactly the same. Sometimes they're even made in the same factory. So if I don't agree, I'm very tired of it as well, Laurie. It's all right. I'm gonna stop in a minute. I just want to just mention this quickly, okay? Just because I'm just interested. So I'm just putting it out there. So then if I don't agree with stealing designs, I shouldn't buy these biscuits. I'm going to park that there and I'm going to move on. Right, so bit of nicer news. I have books ready, but Amazon are being problematic at the moment. They're blocking my books, so I can't publish anything. So I've got, obviously these are digital kits. The books are ready to go. However, as I said, until I sort out the Amazon issue, I can't do anything. So these are the books. When they do come out, then they are ready to go. I'm very pleased with the way they've turned out. I'm just annoyed that I can't actually, you know, publish them. But anyway, another little problem we're having. So yeah, so these are ready. So I've got Sunflower Days and I've got Mum's the Word. These will be out at some point, but as I said, it all depends on how quickly Amazon reply to me and let me get this sorted. So those will be ready to go. Obviously you can buy the digital kits, but I have got this, quite Sarah. So I've got, this is a digital kit that is now available on DRK Crafts and also on Ko-fi. I'm not putting things on Etsy at the moment, my new kits. The reason being that Etsy charged me way too much. They literally charge me way too much. Ko-fi don't charge me very much, and DRK don't take very much either. So I'm going to go with DRK and with Ko-fi for now. You shouldn't have an issue, and this is the other problem with Etsy. I've had quite a few people having real problems downloading from Etsy, and so I end up having to send through direct links. I'm hoping that with DRK and with Ko-fi, you're not going to have that problem. On Ko-fi, you can only get... on Ko-fi, you can only get the PDF version at the moment, but DRK, I think you can get both, JPEGs and PDF. So yeah, so if you want JPEG and PDF, go to DRK. If you're not bothered and you only want PDF, then you can go to DRK or you can just go to Ko-fi. They're the same price, it's fine. But yeah, so this is the new pack. So I am going to have a quick flick through. Now I haven't got the whole thing because I'm kind of cut things out, but you've got in fact let me use the other one because the other one is complete. I haven't actually cut anything out of this yet. Hi, under a pile of papers. So you got a whole load of sentiments at the back. Obviously they vary from the well, they will vary from the A4 to the 8.5 by 8.5. At the moment, as I said, this book's not out because I'm having problems with Amazon, but it will be. But these are all on the digital kit, so this is probably the best one to show you because this is what your digital kit will look like. So there's your A4 papers, and then you've got your check, and you've got your flowers, and your, like a, I don't know what you call that, so the pattern, more roses, more check. And so I've just gone through and I've done a whole load of lovely, and the idea of this was really for Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and obviously it can be used for everything really. But I'm not a big one on hearts, so I thought let's just go for a bit of a floral one. So there we go, and that's that. So that's your rose garden. So we're going to be using this today. Now I thought we would do a version of, last week we did this card, which was off Dawn Stamping Thoughts. That was where the idea came from. And so yeah, but on Dawn's one she had like a bendy strip at the front here, which I liked, but for what I wanted to do I didn't want it on my version. So but I do like the bendy strip and it makes it more stable, so I thought, well, let's just do it this time not with this bit but just with the bendy strip. So I had a die from Creoles, which was a dripping honey and frosting die. very good. It has stitched edge. So I made a birthday cake. So this is the card we're doing today, but I'm going to do it not as a birthday cake this time. I'm going to do it as like layered flowers. So that's the idea. So this is the one. So this is, as you can see, this is what the die's done. So what I did was I cut out a strip that was 1.5 inches, and then what I did was she says looking for them, I put the dye on. If I lay that on there, can you see? I just put the dye on like pretty much halfway down and cut it out. So I've now got 2 lots, so I can make another birthday cake using this. So I thought it was really good. But if you can, I don't know if you can see the stitching on it. Can you see the stitched edge? So cool. Anyway, so yeah, so that's available from Creolese, so go and check her out. I've put all the links in the description below. And then the papers I used here were, I think they were I think it's called Over the Rainbow. It's a very old Trimcraft first edition pad. I don't think you can get it unless you independent craft stores have got a copy left, but all the papers I used from that. And then this was some laminette I bought from a craft fair. Again, I can't remember who does it. I don't know if they still have it or not, but it's quite hard to come by. And then the gold on the candles is actually some adhesive gold holographic sheets that I got given. And again, they're like really old, years old. And then you've got space to write on the back. I will put 2 white panels on the back, so you've got place for your message. But I thought we could do something like this. But what I thought, instead of doing a birthday cake, because obviously not everyone's got, but it's just another idea. You can do a birthday cake. But I thought we'd do it as like a layered garden, because obviously I'm going to be using the rose garden papers. So that is what we're doing today. So let me just bring in all my bits and bobs. So these are the dies I'm using, the Creole dies I'm using for today's card. I'm using these 2. So these are like rose, well, they're classed as leaves, but they're like little rosebuds. So I've got this one, which is 32, and then 32A, which is the slightly smaller one. And then I've got this leaf, so it's got like a pattern, and then you put it on top of the plane, and you can make up little leaves like that, which are really nice. And then this one, which is like a frond, and again, I've got examples of them here. So that one, and there's like a smaller frond that goes with it. There we go. So they're the dies we're using. So let me put all these bits to one side. Let me put all these bits to one side. I'll put them up here so I can still get to them. And then we will start working out with the patterns and the bases and everything. And I have cut everything out, but I haven't stuck everything down, because I've had quite a lot of people say they quite like watching me stick things down and whatever. So they're actually bases. Now for the actual tiered bits, I haven't done mats. And on this one, I didn't actually do mats or patterns. I just made sure I used patterned card, and then I didn't have to worry about doing a mat or a pattern. So yeah. So, but today I want to use, I didn't want it to be that, and this is too thin to use as a base. So I have gone with a pattern on top of the base, but I thought let me not do a mat as well, because then it won't bend as well. So for your main base cards, those are my main base cards. Hello Karen, you alright? 5 Fahrenheit. Oh my goodness, that is cold. Let me grab my thingy bob. Okay, so you are going to need one piece that's 6 by 6 again, and we're going to score that halfway at 3. So that's the same as last week. I'm just going to fold that in half. Now this is actually some double-sided pattern card. Again, I've had this for a very long time. It's not very thick. For your bendy sections, you don't want to go too thick at all, because you really do want, them to be able to bend and bow. So then we have, starting from the bottom working up, we've got one piece that's 2 inches by 7. Now your height, you could change that. It doesn't have to be 2. I just quite like the way the 2 turned out, but you could change that up, make it less, more, whatever you want to do. And if you don't want 3, you can make less than 3 if you want. Really just have a bit of a play. So on this one, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 6.5 inches. So that's that one. Then we're going to move at 2. This one's at 2 and at 2 by 5.5. And again, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5 inches. Okay. And then the next one is 2 inches by 4 inches. And on this one, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 3.5. Okay, so that's all of your scoring done. Okay, let me just quickly look at the comments. Zanya, if I was to use your instructions on how to make certain card folds and then make cards using my own papers, see my next message. Okay, that's cool. I'll wait for your next message. -18. Oh my goodness. -40. Why days. Right, so then we're going to just mount in folds both of our score lines that we've done on each of these. So obviously if you're using patterned card like I did with my birthday cake one, then you don't need to worry about patterns and mats and whatever. But I didn't want these to be plain green. I wanted to have some kind of pattern on them. So I will give you the dimensions for those in a moment. So that's those. Zanya. Is it okay to... Okay, so if I was to use instructions on how to make certain card folds and then make cards using my own papers, is it okay to sell the cards to friends and family? Yes, it is, Zanya, absolutely. These are not, I'm not fussy about all this kind of stuff because people take all my designs all the time. It is what it is. It's fine. Not everyone knows where things have come from. It's fine. Yes, so you're very welcome to sell them. Absolutely. If you're doing a little YouTube tutorial about it or you're doing a craft class, if you can credit me, that would be great. But apart from that, it's fine. Hi, Kerry. Thank you. Okay, so then we're going to stick down our patterns. So your patterns are, for your largest one, you've got one piece that's 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. The next one up, which is this one, is 1 3/4 by 4 1/4, and the one after that is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to go and stick them on the front of these pieces here. Let me stick these down. Okay. That's okay, Daniel, don't worry. I'm glad you enjoy them. That's good. Yeah, I try and put measurements at the bottom of all my live streams. So in the description below, I try and put the measurements there. And then on the tutorials, I try and put them on the screen. Unless it's like an edited version of a live stream, in which case I just copy and paste from the actual live stream. Okay, so that's all your sections done. So what we want to do next is go ahead and put our mats and patterns at the back here. So you're going to need, in total, you're going to need 4 mats that are 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. 2 are going to go here and 2 are going to go on the back here. Now, as you can see, my card is not the same. I've got green on one side and pattern on the back, so I've actually cut out different coloured mats for the back here. So yeah, so you'll see I've got different colours, and then your pattern pieces are 2.5 by 5.5, and then you need 2 white pieces that are 2.5 5.5 for the back. So let me go ahead and stick these down. Sarah, you're thinking about starting to do tutorials, but you're not sure how to get started, or even if you have the time. I'm getting more into making albums and folios at the moment, though. Yeah, so it is a lot of work doing videos, I have to say. It is a lot of work. If you need any help, then just let me know. Come and speak to me on Reddit, and I can try and help you out with just what... I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert by any means, but I can show you what I've learned over the years, because I've done quite a lot of like research, and there's some YouTubers who actually show you, how to do YouTube channels and whatever. So yeah, if you need any help, I can show you what I know. That's about what I can do. But yeah, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work because it's all the prepping and coming up with ideas in the first place, prepping what you're going to make, and then once you've filmed it, it's the editing and the uploading and the tags and the description, and it's a lot. It is a lot, but it's fun. So yeah, if you enjoy doing it, then it's good, but it is a lot. People think it's easy, but it's not. It's not easy. Right, let's stick these down. And you also have to be prepared for everyone's comments as well. So just be prepared for that. You have to not take them to heart. Right, let's stick these down. Well, the sun was out here, but it seems to have gone away again. It's very grey all of a sudden, which is a shame. We had kind of hazy sunshine early this morning, which was nice to see. But now it's just looking a bit grey. It's looking a bit January. Right, let's stick this down the other side. You're currently making a triple tier slider car with a shaker front. Ooh, that sounds good, Zanya. Wow, that does sound cool. I would love to see that. That sounds very interesting. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Oh, what's that, sun? Yeah, quite. I know. What is sun? I don't know. We don't have a lot of it here either, Anne. Especially not this time of the year. Maybe in the summer, but not this time of the year. Let's put this on. Yeah, Sally, absolutely. Absolutely, it can do. It really can. It really can take longer. Okay, so that's that. Now I want to go ahead and actually before I do that, I should really stamp my greeting. I'm going to leave one panel off, which is the one I'm going to put the greeting on, because I'm not sure what greeting I'm putting on yet. And I want to use, I could use one of the greetings that's in the pack, but I really like the kind of edge greeting that I've got, like on that cake where the happy birthday just pops up, and that was a Tonic Studios die, so I think I might use a Tonic Studio die again, and put a greeting on for that on this one the same, because I like the way it just pops up from the thing. Okay, oh, I've just thought of something. Okay, so I just made the mistake that you shouldn't do. So, as you remember last week when we did this, actually no, it wasn't on this one, was it? No, it wasn't on this one. So it was the hexagonal. So the hexagonal half frame we did. You really want to put this front one on before you stick your panels down. I haven't, so now what's going to happen is you're going to be able to see my tabs. And for that reason, I'm actually going to cut these tabs down. So what you really need to do, which is what I did on my cake one, because if you look inside that, can you see you can't see the tabs? Because I've stuck those behind those panels. So you do need to do that. My brain is elsewhere right now, so you have to bear with me. So yeah, what you need to do is stick this on first, like that, and then stick your panels underneath so they go over the top. If you forget, like me, then what I would advise you do is grab some thin red tape. And I'm just going to put that down like that. And then I'm going to cut my tab according to how thick my red tape is, because that way I'm not going to have that thicker tab. And the other thing as well is on the other side of this card it's actually white, it's not even green, so it really is going to stand out. So it's that was a bit of a faux pas, but anywho, that's the way it goes. So then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to cut along here along the side of the tape. So I've got an incredibly thin tab. It's not even, but it's fine. It's even enough. Same on this side. So if you forget, this is what you need to do. If you don't forget, then leave it as a 1/2 inch tab because it's definitely more sturdy. And then I need a pin. Where's my pin gone? There it is. And we're going to take the backing off this, like that. And what I would advise you do as well is bend your card first before you start sticking it down, just so that it kind of knows where it needs to go. And then we're going to take this and bring it all over here, line it up on that edge, line it up along the bottom, make sure it's nice and straight, and stick that down. So now, as you can see, there's not a great deal of tab there, so it's not as noticeable. It actually looks like it's going behind the white layer. So I've managed to make it kind of look like it's, you know, in the right place. I'm not going to stick this side down just yet. Obviously if you're doing this behind the panels you will need to, but it just makes it easier for getting these in if you don't do that. I'm now going to go with the top one. So the top one, I just need to work out where it is I want it to be. Again, give it a bit of a bend, give it a bit of a, you know, just give it a bit of a bend so it knows what it wants to do first. And then this is going to go over here, but again you really want it to be nice and central. So I think I'm just going to measure. You don't have to measure, you can gauge it if you want to, but I think I'm going to measure. Okay, in fact, you know what we could do, so we don't have to make marks. If I just measure in from here, it is going to be, here with, about 1.5. Okay, so what we want to do then is we want to come from the edge and we want to come in 1.5 inches. And if we make a mark on here, that might be better than, because that's going to be really obvious, whereas this is not going to be so obvious. The other thing as well is you want to work out how high you want it. So I think I'm going to want it about here. I think on this one I did it about 1 inch. Yeah, it was about just over 1 inch from the top. So it really depends on what you've got coming out of there as to how far up you want it. Now I've got some roses, but I reckon about there is probably going to be about right. And that measurement is probably just over 1 inch, 1.25 inches. Yeah, 1.25 inches. Okay, 1.25 inches, and then we want to come in. I said 1.5 inches, didn't I? Which is actually there. Let me get that in. So it's going to be there. So there's 1.5 inches. And then it's just a case of making sure it's level. I need to put red tape on this. I'm actually going to put some wet glue this time. Also bear in mind, obviously you're going to be able to see the underside of this tab. You are going to be able to see on the card. So if you want to cut them down a bit more and make them a little bit more hidden, you can. Where's my mark? My mark is there. There's my mark. I can see it just about. So that's there. Let's flip that over. Stick that down. Hopefully that is straight. I think it is. It looks like it's further over this side than it is that side, but I think it's just the way the check. Yeah, it's actually an optical illusion. It's actually level. Okay. Now, because I've used wet glue, I do need to leave it straight. Can't be doing this flexing business because it's going to move it around. This one I'm going to go with. I'm going to go for red tape, just because I'm a bit concerned if I use glue because it moves. If you had time and you were at home and doing it by yourself, then I'd probably use glue, but we're going to go with red tape. It doesn't make too much difference. And then I think this one, I think I came in 3/4 inch with this one from the side. I will remeasure it and make sure, but I think that's what I did. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's 3/4 inch. Okay, so from the side, let's move this out. This is why it's quite good not to stick this down straight away, because you have a bit more space to move around in. And I want it to overlap at the top and overlap at the bottom, and you can kind of work out yourself how much you want to work, you know, how much you want it to overlap. I reckon probably about there. I don't think I'm even going to measure this because I can kind of work out from here that that's pretty much central. In fact, if I do it there, then my stripes are pretty much lined up with each other. I think I'm going to do that because I think your eye is going to see that more. So let me just leave that like that. I'm going to do this side first. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and stick your flowers and your candles and your whatever in first before you start doing all of this. But with the birthday cake one, I didn't, and I didn't have too many problems with it. So, I need to bend this as well. Let's just give this a bend before we go and stick it down. It's just easier to do it like that than it is to do it once it's stuck. Okay, and then we can go ahead and stick this last layer down. So there we go. There we go. Sweet Pea, you're prepping crafts for a class to make heart-shaped hinge treat boxes. Oh, that sounds good as well. Wow. And Ali, you were having your first calligraphy lesson. How did it go? That sounds interesting. Wow. Defrosting the freezer. Oh gosh, yeah. I hate defrosting freezers. I really do. I hate defrosting freezers. Okay, so that's that. That's the basis of it done. So now we need to go ahead and decorate. So before I start, I'm going to get my sentiment sorted. Let's just give us a little bit of a, to kind of help it out a little bit. Okay, so let me get my sentiments out. Okay. So these are Tonic Studio dies that I'm using, but I don't know if they're still available. I bought these in a craft show. And I think they were like an end of a line type thing. But yeah, they're just really, they're really nice. So I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know whether to do I might do a get well soon. Quite like the idea of a get well soon. So I don't have a lot of get well soons. So I think I might go get well soon with this one. You've also got a thinking of you as well, but I think it's a bit grand for thinking of you. I think we'll go with a get well soon. So they're nice because they're on the edge, and they're on the edge, and they're just about the right. So I could fit it on that medium tier and the middle tier, but I think I'm going to put it on the bottom tier, and then do flowers on the top sections. I think that's what I shall do, and I'm going to cut it out of the same matte foil, matte mirror, as I've done for these. So posting it, very easy. Like that. It measures 6 by 6 in a 6 by 6 envelope. Bob's your uncle. Very easy. You don't fold it in half like that. It folds flat like that, which is why you stick everything down flat. So it makes it super easy. And as long as you've pre-bounced your cards at the front, bent them, it just means the recipient just takes it out, gives it a bit of a zhuzh, and it stands up, ready to go. It just makes it so much easier. Yeah, so anytime you get bendy cards, that's why they need to be flat like that, because if you try and fold it, that's gonna bend that, and then you end up more like this. Although this does actually fold flat that way, but anyway. Anywho, right, let me grab some mirror card and cut this out. So I think this one should be okay. Is that going to be wide enough? Hopefully. Yeah, that's wide enough. I'm not going to go the full width of the card because I don't really need to. And hi Nika! Rainy Portugal. Oh, okay. See, it was me thinking Portugal was always lovely. I'm going to put my light on because it's getting a bit dark here. I think it's going to be rainy here in a minute. Right, let's run this through. Let me run this through here. Like this. I've left a little bit of a gap at the bottom there, not lots, just a little bit, so that then I've got something to stick it onto the card with. I'm going to tape it into position, because I don't want it to be moving anywhere. And I've tried to make it kind of central left and right. There we go. I haven't put any tape or anything on the back of it because I'm going to be obviously sticking it at the front, so I don't need to. It's cut out very nicely, so that's good. So let's just take this off. There we go. And then let's grab that, move our machine out the way. I think that was the only thing I needed to die cut because I've done all the die cutting already, to try and make things a little bit easier. This as well, I want to give it a bit of a bend just to get it in the right place. So let's just give this a little bit of a bend, make sure I be careful with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick some double-sided tape. I think I'm going to use red. It just goes with what thickness I go for. Is that going to be too thick? I think that's too thick. Yeah, so I have to go with the thin stuff. This thin one. And I'm going to put this just a bit below. So basically it's kind of embossed a bit of a line just below the words. So I'm going to put my red tape on that. And then that should be fine. Could do another line below, but I'm not. I think it'll be fine. And then my pin. What did I do with my pin? Lost my pin. Anybody see it anywhere? Did I put it back? Maybe I put it back. Oh, I put it back so I wouldn't lose it. Who knew? Right, so I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to pull up a little bit. And then take my card. I'm going to fold it flat. Just shimmy this in to here. And I'm going to get it so that just the letters are popping up. So you don't get any of that card popping up. So it's going to be about there. I've taken the tape off a little bit on the edge. And I'm just going to hold it very firmly. And gently pull the backing up. And then just stick that down. So you have your get well soon just popping up above the side there. If you want to have it a bit further up, you can. But yeah. And you've got fog. Oh dear. That's not good. We went through a phase of having lots of fog actually, but it seems to have cleared a bit more now. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and stick all of our leaves and our little rose buddy things into place, as well as our flowers. So I'm going to cut a whole load. I need to cut a whole load of flowers out. So I left this. I was going to fussy cut these last night, but because people say they like watching me do it, I thought, well, I'll do it online then. I'll do it. I'll do it in stream. So let's just cut. I don't want too many large ones. So I've got some with leaves and some without. And as you all know, my fussy cutting isn't the best. So you'll have to bear with my fussy cut out. These scissors don't feel very sharp anymore. They've done very well. I've had them for many years. I think they might need a bit of a... I think they might need to cut a bit of tinfoil or a bit of sandpaper to sharpen them. But they're pretty good, considering how long I've had them. Right, let's just cut round. Please talk amongst yourselves in the comments while I concentrate. And obviously, if you've got any questions, then ask me in the comments and I will try and glance up every now and then. Oh, got a bit too close there. Right, the sound hasn't gone off, it's me concentrating. You can probably hear my brain cells whirring. Mind you, you probably can't actually, because they're not working properly at the moment, so. There we go. Has anybody got any good plans for this year? Any exciting things they're going to be doing this year? Let me know. Has anybody set themselves any New Year's resolutions? I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I know people do. So again, if you've got anything, then let me know in the comments. Yeah, exactly, Catherine. And I know people are fed up of hearing about it, but I'm fed up of having to deal with it, to be fair. So, because I'm the one trying to make money here. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even make money, I'm trying to earn a living. Do you know what I mean? I've got bills to pay. So, I don't agree with it, but I'm a bit like, I don't know what to do. It's just difficult. It's just a difficult one. And I get, you know, if it doesn't affect you, people don't want to hear about it. I get it. But it did occur to me, and I did think, let me present it. But obviously, I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Let me cut around here. You'll celebrate your 25th anniversary with friends in Portugal and your 70th birthday. Oh, in the month of May. Fabulous. Well, in advance, happy birthday. It's fun actually. This year is quite a big one for a lot of people. I've got relatives and friends who are going to be ranging from turning 50, turning 80, turning 90, all this year. So it's a bit of a big year this year. So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Right, so there's some of those. I need a few more. Let's get a few more out. You're going to the beach in July with your son and his family. Cool, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Let's hope we get some good weather this year. I hope we get some good weather in August, because that's when I'm going to be doing that cruise to Norway. Can't wait for that. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. I've always wanted to go back. I've been to Norway once. I was a big fan of Aha as a child, those of you who know Aha. And I always wanted to go to Norway, and then I managed to get the opportunity to go to Norway at the beginning of 2001, I think it was. 2001 or late 90s? It might have been late 90s actually. So I went over there and I was so excited to go over. But I've always wanted to go back because I've always wanted to go to the fjords. And so this cruise will be going around the fjords. So I'm very excited about that. Dave, you're going to be 65. Well, you know, I mean, you're as old as you feel, you know. So I know sometimes we feel very, sometimes we feel very old, don't we? But I think sometimes mentally we're kind of still in our 20s and 30s. And it's just a bit of a shock to the system. Just like, hang on a second, how am I going to be that old? Like, I still can't. I've got a big birthday this year as well, and I'm a bit like, don't really know how I've managed to get to that age. I don't feel that age, not up in my head I don't. Anyway, it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. And as well, because I think when you're in your 20s or whatever, you have certain preconceived ideas of what it's like to be a certain age. And then when you get to that age, you're like, oh, actually, it's not like that at all. It's actually not what I thought. Nicole, your New Year's resolution is actually use what you have of your crafting supplies. You have at least 9 months of purchase to catch up with since you broke your wrist. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. How is your wrist? How is everything going with that? Yeah, that's one of those things, isn't it? I need to have a bit of a declutter this year as well. Just all around the whole house, really. It's just tricky. It's having the time and knowing where to take everything that you're throwing out, because not everything you're throwing out needs to actually go in the bin. Some of it can be, you know, reused. Other people can reuse it. But quite a few of the local charity shops are not taking donations because they've got enough. So it just makes it a bit tricky then, because it's like, well, what do I do with it now? I need to be able to get it straight out of the house as soon as I'm decluttering. And it's just a lot. And then there's lots of other things happening as well, so it makes it a bit tricky. Right, I'm going to stop there with the flowers. We can cut some more if we need some more. Take On Me. Exactly. I used to love. I still do love them. I just think they're such good musicians, and the songs are great. They seem like really nice lads. Yeah, we do like them. You bought a she shed for your business. Oh, cool. Your husband's working on installing the insulation and drywall, the paint and flooring before adding all your supplies. And you've got to support all your supplies. Oh, goodness. Well, that would be good. That'd be nice to have a shed anyway, to do it all. Add in little German companies. Chinese. Yeah, quite, Catherine. Right. So I'm going to start sticking these things in. Now, with everything you stick in, if you're using things like this, make sure you give them a bit of a fold before you put them in, a bend before you stick them in. I think I'm going to put some on the inside and some on the outside, possibly. Oh, I don't know, maybe I should leave them on the inside. And I'm just going to add literally like, well, I could do them with glue, but I think I'm going to add, they were, Nicole. They were. Big grin. I'm just going to add red tape on. You can use wet glue, but I don't want mine shimming around as I'm sticking them in. So I am going to add some red tape instead. I'll probably change to wet glue in a minute because it's going to be more hassle using red tape, but I think I might put this at the top actually. I had it on that middle tier, but I think I might put this at the top because I've got a rose that's slightly bigger. Oh, maybe I haven't. But that was maybe slightly bigger. Right, no, I think I'm going to put that at the top. So let's put that at the top in the middle, like that. And then we want some leaves coming out and also some of these. Let's go for the little ones at the top. Is that a really, oh, there's a really tiny one. So we want a really tiny one. I might put a really tiny one in there. I am going to have to use tape, I think. I just feel like with the glue it's going to move around too much. So, that's dropped down. Where did that go? Don't know. Oh, it's on my chair. There it is. Yeah, see, glue would be better for this. However, I just feel like it's going to move too much. And I don't want to use Yoo-Hoo because that's the best one that's going to stick. I don't want to use Yoo-Hoo because of it messing up the mirrored surface. So let's like that there. Let's bring this in here. Like that. And put that in, coming out at an angle like that. And then should put another one behind that. Oops. I'm not going to go completely symmetrical. I'm just going to have a bit of a play. And we'll see. I do feel like I need to be using proper glue, but anyway, we're going to continue with this and hope for the best. Karen, your husband and you celebrated your 53rd anniversary yesterday. You celebrated at home because he just got a husband. Oh no! Oh, I hope he's on the mend soon. Dear me. That's not good. At least he's out of hospital. That's something, I guess. But goodness me, that's not good. Well, I hope he gets better soon. And stick that there. Make sure whatever you stick at the top here doesn't go above your top of your card. I'm going to put a big piece on this one, I think. A thicker piece. Just at the bottom, because quite a bit of that leaf is going to be behind the rose. And you do want to make sure you kind of bend things before you stick them in. I'm going to put that in there like, oh no, not quite like that, I think. Apologies if you can't see it. I'm trying to hold it up against my body so I can actually kind of press against things. Okay, we'll put that one there. And then we need to Your mum and dad's 56th anniversary was last week. Goodness me, it really is everyone's anniversaries and things. I suppose as well, because I know spring is quite a popular time to get married, isn't it? So, oh, my little rosebud's fallen off. So, yeah, there will be quite a few anniversaries, I would imagine. Right, I might try with a bit of glue. I'm still not sure about this glue option, but my red tape option just popped off, so oops daisy, army glue's falling over. Put that in there like that. It's not as it's not symmetrical, but anywho. And then I think if we put like 1, a 2 and a 3, I think I might make the middle tier kind of not symmetrical as such, but a bit more symmetrical. Oh, this red tape, when you've got dry hands and then you're trying to handle red tape, it's just being a pain. I'm just going to go in there. I am yoo-hooing now, so we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it'll work. Hi, Nika. Let's put in this one next. Just really need to remember to bend before you do it, because otherwise if you don't bend before you stick it in, you are going to flatten your layers. So, but there's lots of different possibilities you could do with this card. You really could go to town with it. So that one there. No, my fingers are in the wrong layer. Here we go. So like that. That's the other problem with glue as well. You've got to wait for me to hold it in place and let it dry. So I'm just going to hold this and let this dry. So with tape I could stick it straight in, but I think glue is going to be more stable. Okay, and then we're going to go for another one of these over this side. And then we'll stick some, we might stick some rosebuds in a minute. Just kind of randomly around. Put that one in there. Just remember to work from front to back with your, whatever you're sticking down. That's why I put my roses in first. Because normally I kind of work from like leaves and then coming forwards, but obviously with this you've got to work your way around. Could do a little song, couldn't we, right now? While you're waiting, like a little intermission while I stick things down. There we go. And then we need to put some leaves in there. And I think 2 in the middle would be quite good. I think I am going to go with, yeah, I'm going to have to go red tape for the leaves just because of the fact they're mirrory. I hope it works. Give it a good bend. It's going to go like that. So we could probably do with a little bit there and a little bit there. So I'm actually going to trim this in half. Could just use the thinner stuff, but anywho. And stick half up here and half up there, because otherwise I think we're going to end up with a bit of a problem. And I will fold over all the excess in a moment, because there's a little bit sticking outside there. We don't want anything on the back or sticking outside of the outside of our die cut, otherwise it's going to cause problems, because when it goes in the envelope it will stick to the layer behind. So this little bit here that's overlapped, Just going to fold it in on itself like that, and any little bits there, and then that's going to go in here like that. But think of all the options you could do with this card, all the different things, different layers you could use, and different scenes. I was thinking as well, you could maybe use like these as like how, you know, the houses you can get. You can even get like border dies that have got houses on. You could do like a snowy Christmas scene with little houses on. That would be cool. There's loads you could do with it. Loads. It does a bit, Louise, yes. It does a bit. It does a bit. It's just nice not having to make them out of fondant. Because I didn't really enjoy doing that. I did some that were just, oh my goodness, tons and tons of flowers, homemade, from scratch. I think the most I ever made for one cake was like 180, I think it was, 180 sugar flowers I made from scratch. Now I feel like there needs to be something at the back here, behind the Get Well Soon, but I also don't want to go too crazy with it, because I don't want to not be able to see you Get Well Soon. So I might just do maybe little groups of twos, maybe, because I think if you start putting flowers behind, you're not going to see you Get Well Soon. You can see it with the leaves, so I might do a little group of two there and a little group of two over here, maybe. If I did that, then it would look like, and maybe if we put some rosebuds in, not sure, like that. Oh, maybe we should do a bit more central. Like that and like that, with some rosebuds. There's a bit of a gap in the middle then, isn't there? I might do some rosebuddy bits in the middle. That's too big. Okay, let's go with this one. You like the card? Looks like a 3-tier cake. Yes. So you missed the beginning, didn't you, Beth? So the middle one, here's my 3-tier cake. This is where the idea came from. I did actually originally call it a Trendy Bendy cake funfold card, but I might have to change that to layered Trendy Bendy funfold card, because you know, you don't just have to use a cake. So yeah. Thank you, Yvonne. Right, I think I might do should I do a couple of douche. I might do 3 buds and then some leaves, maybe. So I've got these little fondue leaves as well, which I was going to put in. I still can, maybe. Yeah, I still can, but I will have to use glue for those. Let me use my fast tack glue for those. The glue video is still pending. The one I spoke about last week, it's still pending. Hopefully coming at some point. Let's just stick that down. Oh, it's not sticking. Come on, stick. Not to my finger. I need to stick to the card, not my finger. You could peg things into place, I guess, as you go. That's not too bad. Actually, let me do Yoo-hoo, I think, on these, because these aren't mirror and we don't have to worry about them taking any surfaces off. Well, let me grab the top. That is going to go there. Thank you, Sweet Pea. You're going to make heaps of these, Vicky. Good. Yeah. They're useful as well, because these strips at the front here, the base strips, quite often you have offcuts, don't you, that are usually about that. And as I said, these are 2 inches tall, but if you want to go a bit less, you can. You don't have to go 2 inches tall. So, yeah, I think we need one in the middle as well. You really could go to town on this. I mean, I'm not one to usually really go massively with, you know, I tend to under-decorate rather than over-decorate. But although not always, but you really could go to town with this. Now, because I've left the top off my Yoo-hoo, it's now protesting. So let me put the top back on again, so it doesn't all dry out around the top and stop me from But I feel like we need one more little frondy bit in the middle here, and then we just need to work out what we're doing on that bottom layer. I feel like it does need something on that bottom layer, but I'm not quite sure what. Okay, so that's those three there. And then I definitely think either side. So let's do the either side ones. The only thing is, if I'm going to stick things in front of it, I need to be doing that first. I might do a bud in between the get and the well. And then maybe have leaves in between. Yeah, that might work. Let's do that. Okay, so now this, the other thing as well is, as I've just discovered, this didn't actually stick in very well. The one that I stuck in a minute ago didn't actually stick in because it's such a thin amount. So if you have that problem, you can always make a little, you can attach it onto a little bit of card and just stick it behind. I think that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to just get a bit of, oh, I've chucked away all my scrap bits. How do you send it? You fold it flat like that and put it in an envelope. It's really simple. It's just flat like that. Stick it in an envelope for 6x6, off it goes. The sender takes it out. It should kind of pop itself because it's already been pre-bent, and then they just zhuzh it a little bit and on it goes. Nice and easy. Let me just quickly grab a bit of thingy bob. A bit of, oh, sitting on my cushion. A bit of scrap. Let me grab a bit of scrap. I'll show you what I mean. So I've got these rosebuds and I really want to stick them in to place, but they're very thin. Those stems are very thin. So I'm just going to cut a tiny little bit like this, another little tiny little bit for the other one, and then I'm going to add some red tape onto, or you could use glue, but I'm going to use red tape because I want it to stick straight away. And I'm going to stick that on there like that. Stick that on there like that, and so we can see where they're going to do. I'm going to just lay it on the front for a moment, and then it needs to be like that. Okay. So let's take that off. Let's hold that into position of where it's going to stick on the inside. Grab our bud and position it like that. So it's now sticking onto the red tape like that. Sticking onto the red tape, and then just to make sure, I'm going to put another piece of red tape over the top, just to hold, make sure that bud does not go anywhere. Don't necessarily have to do that, but I can see how stubborn this is being. I also need to bend my strip. Let's take the backing off that tape there, and then the whole thing is going to stick in here, and obviously make sure that that white bit disappears below the level. So that's there like that, and I'm going to repeat the same with this other bud. So anything you've got little skinny bits like that that are really a bit of a pain to stick in, then this is an interesting little technique to use. I'm going to make that one a little bit higher. It's going to be about there. Why is that not sticking? Have I got tape on the back? No. So that's another reason why you need to put a little thing over the top, because this is not sticking very well, and I'm not sure why it's not sticking very well, but it's deciding it's going to be a bit problematic. Oh, thank you, sweet pea. Right, let's stick some red tape over the top. There we go. Oh, I forgot to bend it, so I'm going to have to give it a kind of a loose bend. Let's grab it by the top, stick it down here like that, stick it into position, and then we can go ahead and add our leaves. And I think maybe one there. Well, I was originally thinking them over here, wasn't I? But now I've put that into there. I think maybe one there and one there. I'm not really sure. We're just going to stick it down and it'll just be whatever it is. It'll be what it is. Oh, yes, an orchestra. Oh, that would be wonderful. Yes, Vicky, I like the idea of that. An orchestra card. You could have all the levels. Or even like a baseball card. You know, you could have the crowd. That could be the different levels is the crowd. Oh, there's lots of ideas. Absolutely. Yeah, because you could change, you don't necessarily have to have 3 tiers. You could have more tiers, less tiers. You could have thinner tiers. You could have just all sorts. That's a bit too... okay. Right, let me stick that onto the front of that one. No, I think I've put a bit too much tape on this. I've put too much tape on. Oh, I can't really take it off now, so I'm just going to have to just wing it. We'll just have to make that a bit lower. Like that. That is a bit too low, but it is what it is. And that can go behind like that. So I just need 2 little thin strips. It's difficult to work out where you want your glue. So this is the thing, if you want to do this, as I said, before you start sticking your other sides down, it makes it easier to actually get in there to stick things on the other side. So we want one up this side and we want one up that side. We want one here and we want one there. Let's peel the backing off. So this is the only problem with me not prepping things, is it does take a lot longer to do. But yeah, but I guess you get to see all my mistakes, so you don't then have to do them. Okay, and then we'll do the same on this side. So again, I've got too much tape here. If I can peel, oh no, I can't peel it off because it's going to take the mirror backing off. So again, I'm going to have to do this one as a nice low one at the front. And then go up from there. You like watching the process? Good, I'm glad. I'm glad. So again, this isn't exactly central either, so it's yeah. And then that one's going to go here. And again, I just need 2 edges. I need 2 skinny bits. So I have one up here and one down here, like that. There we go. Tuck my little bits in. Give it a kind of a bend. And then stick it into position. Oh gosh, come on. Get my hand under there. Like that. There we go. And then maybe one more in the middle. Might do a small one in the middle. I think the big one's a little bit too big. Oh, and I've got some fronds as well. I might put some fronds in. Yeah, we need some fronds. Let's do the fronds first. It's true. It's true, Nicole. It's just, you know, when you just have that pressure to like, oh, it's got to be perfect. You know, everyone's got their opinions. But it is what it is. So let's stick that one in there, like that. If you're using wet glue, obviously I can feel the glue coming onto my fingers. I'm sticking them in. If you are using glue, just make sure that you will let it fully dry before you press it flat to put it in an envelope or fold it or send it or whatever. not fold it, you know what I mean, because otherwise it's going to stick to the layer behind. So just bear that in mind. Yeah, I think a rose in the middle, an actual rose or a rose bud, like one of these in the middle. I'll just lay it in place like an actual, I mean obviously it's going to stick behind it, an actual rose, or I was thinking a rose bud in the middle. What do we think? Actual rose. Yeah, so Anika, that's what I was just saying about it. Sometimes you might find it easier to stick all of these sides on, leave these sides flappy, and then decorate. So that's what I'm saying. You might find that easier to do. So if you want to do it that way, you can. When you do a video, it's sort of like you forget these things. There's a few things I forgot to do. You get to see all my mistakes so you don't have to make them. So rosebud or actual rose? What do we think? Let me know in the comments. That's the rosebud in the middle. And I noticed as well, this is not central, because here's my central line. So there's the centre of the card, and these are slightly off, but then it is what it is. So rosebud in the middle or rose in the middle? I think I'm leaning towards rosebud. Don't think I really like the rose. Yeah, bud. I'm going with you. Oh, Vicky likes the rose. Okay, see, I quite like the actual bud. No, nature isn't. It's true. It's true. Oh, actual rose. Okay, so you prefer this one then? This one here in the middle. I think I prefer the little one better than this one. I feel like it needs greenery. An actual rose. Okay, roses are winning at the moment. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 roses and only 2 buds. Okay, I'm going to go with an actual rose then. But I'm going to use the little one. I'm wondering if I should go with that one actually. This one here is the same as that. No, it's quite smaller, isn't it? Too much roses. Yeah, I know. That's why I think about the bud. I quite like the bud. I quite like the bud. Because this is like the bud layer. And these are the rose layers. I get why people want roses. Oh dear. Started a debate. 1, 2, 3 buds. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7. I've got 7 roses. The roses are dwelling. The roses are multiplying. What about if I put an actual rose at the bottom here, and then just put a bud in the middle? I'm going with bud. I'm gonna be really controversial here. It is my card, Marriott. I'm going bud. I'm sorry. I'm being rebellious. I'm going against the grain. My overall thing is saying bud. I don't know why. I think it's because you've got rose at the top tier, and I feel like this bottom tier is a bud tier. So I'm going to go bud. So 1, 2, and then we could always add others in if we need to. But I'm not a big overdoer when it comes to florals. And I think if I leave it as the mini bud, well, the medium bud, rather than the other bud, I'm going to put it right up the top of it. I'm not going to test it because I know how much space I've got there. So I just need to make sure that I give it a curl before I stick it into place. I want to make sure that this white card doesn't show. There we go. Bud team wins. Don't ask. I know, well, you know, sometimes I ask because I just need to. It's funny actually, I ask and then I think, oh, actually, no, I think I know. Let's bring that down a tiny bit there. No, there. It's getting thicker. That's the only problem. There's so many, I can feel the thickness here. There's so much thickness because you've got, obviously, the get well, then you've got some leaves and the things behind it. Then you've got that. That is very thick. Gosh. Okay, well, anyway. I think here endeth my card. I think we have, no, I need to add a couple more fronds and then we've ended our card. It needs a couple more fronds. Bear with. Bear with. It needs a couple more fronds. Let's stick these in. Just feel like we need a couple more in here. Oh, can't get my fingers in. One there. And one there. And then we're done. Ah, Bud team wins. They do. The Bud team. Team Bud. Team Bud. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Right, let me just move my other bits out of the way. They will go in my little stash to be used at another time. Move all my bits of rubbish out of the way. Clogging up my desk. Oh, we got there. We did it. Hurrah! We did it. We put things away so that we're not clogging up the system. There we go. Right. So, oh, and then I just need to stamp my. Okay. So now I know it's a get well. I need to stamp a get well greeting, and that will go on the back. So there you go. There's your two different options, and obviously there are other options as well. So you've got your birthday cake option, and you've got your roses option. Just for those of you who might have popped in now and haven't seen, to put it in an envelope, you literally do that, and then you put it in an envelope for 6x6, and off it goes. Now this one is very flat. This would fit to a normal post in the UK because there's not a lot of layers. Obviously I haven't done, you know, mats and layers on the front here. It's just literally patterned card, and there's really not a lot, you know, else that's bulky. This one, on the other hand, is bulky. Might be able to fit it to a normal post, but it is bulky because you've got all those layers of cards. So just bear that in mind when you're choosing what you want to do. You can sort of see the layers, but in real life those layers really pop out. So yeah, but yeah, and breathe. So don't forget, obviously, that the Rose Garden is available on DRK. The digital kit this is available on DRK and also on Ko-fi. All the links are in the description below. Hopefully the book, the A4 book and the 8.5 by 8.5 inch book will be coming out on Amazon soon, but I just need to sort out with Amazon what the problem is and get that resolved. And as soon as I get that resolved, hopefully I'll also be able to give you the Sunflower Days pads and the Mum's the Word pad. And I've got a new kit and pad that's ready to go. I just need to sort out the Amazon problems, and then that can be released as well. So please all pray that Amazon sort themselves out and we've managed to get it up and for sale. Right, I'm going to go and lie in a darkened room for a little bit. I won't because I've got too much to do, but anyway. And yeah, I will see you all again next week. So have a good week, everybody. I will see you all again next week. Bye.